All right, have not fans. I'm going to kind of go back to Tuesday night's episode and the conversation between Jeffrey and Madison. Because if you watch my episode review, the part about Mr. Jim, that aside, I really did go in depth into the parts of the show or the episode that I actually did like some of the bits between Jeffrey and Madison. George giving Wyatt a reality check on what immunity means. Um, Catherine planning on making Hannah the executor, and some of the nonsense of Veronica and David, but more so when he took out those folders showing that he wasn't playing any games. Other than that, I could have done without the episode itself. But overall, going back to the Jeffrey and Madison conversation, some people are still like, this is ridiculous. Jeffrey doesn't have no job or whatever, and that's debatable. Like I said in a review, in episode 2 of the series, he said this was when Wyatt, Amanda, Candace, Jeffrey, and Wyatt were just waiting in like one of the rooms at the Cryer estate, getting ready for breakfast. And Jeffrey brought up the fact that he works at his mother's, rehabilitation center. And he didn't want to do it forever, but he was only one class shy of getting his degree in like psychology or counseling. And he was going to, pretty much branch off and work in another facility. His mother's facility was just a place to kind of get started or get experience. I almost look at it as a internship, so to speak, or a paid internship in this case. But he just never went back to school to finish the program. He did mention that he would back in like season 3 when he was talking to David about how, I have money saved up. I don't need you to pay for everything, Dad. I got this. Because if you remember at the end of like the mid-season finale of season 1, No More Hiding, Veronica in the very next episode had cut Jeffrey off. Phone, apartment, job, everything. He was only going to get everything back once, he agreed to snap out of it, as Veronica would say. This was when Veronica wasn't as crazy as she is now. Pretty much, this was her showing her true colors in terms of being, I guess you could say, not wanting her son to be of the LGBTQ community. And I know David wasn't for that. And that, yeah, I get it. I mean, this was when the writing was actually really solid. I mean, even if you didn't like a character, if you didn't agree with what they did, you could see their point of view because those actions were really happening in today's world. Hence why when Landon first came up, it really made sense, how his character was in terms of, knowing about people like Jeffrey who were outed by their family. Well, yeah, what's the word? Like disowned by their family when they came out. Or then the person who was living a lie, they were being heterosexual, even though they're not, getting married to women. And next thing you know, they're having sex with guys in like the back of subways and random hotels and whatnot. Next thing you know, bringing the risk of disease to this innocent woman who isn't aware of their partner being not into that, their gender. So it's almost like, Landon, it's like Candace pushed Jeffrey into being who he really is, whereas Landon, being someone who's gay himself, was able to kind of guide Jeffrey. Hence why I really like Landon in his initial appearances, because he wasn't like the thirst trap that he is. Not thirst trap, the thirsty guy that he is now. And that really was good. But then we move forward to where we are now with Madison calling out Jeffrey for being too dependent on his parents. Parents and everything. Like when Jeffrey said that I work at my mom's facility. Bro, you have not been at your mom's facility working since the last time I remember was in the episode No More Hiding. That's when, or was it the episode before? Yeah, it was the episode before No More Hiding, and then the episode No More Hiding when Wyatt tricks Jeffrey into coming out, and then he hits Wyatt with the golf club, and then Wyatt takes his keys, takes the black sedan, and leaves. So yeah, that was the last time I remember Jeffrey actually being at his mom's facility working. And then there was another scene where we had several Wyatt and Jeffrey scenes at the facility, but then there was another episode where I believe it was when Veronica confronted Candace in the bathroom of the courthouse taking a whole bath, and then she made a jab at Jeffrey being gay. Then Veronica went over to Catherine's house to kind of talk about it, and she's like, so what do the people say about Jeffrey when I'm not around? And then when she left, Catherine and Hannah were briefly talking. It's like, if she thinks I'm the one who's going to tell her son's gay, she's got another thing coming. And Hannah's like, I don't want anything to do with it. So she just kept on doing her job. And then at the end of the episode, I believe Veronica showed up at the facility as Jeffrey was, just doing his job. He, had his glasses on. I think he had like a file folder or something. And then Veronica's like, I think it's time to give you some time off so you can find a date. And it's like, Mom, what's going on? It's like, you only come down here if there's something wrong with one of the patients. And this was the start of Veronica being overly driven to find Jeffrey a girlfriend, which eventually led to Melissa episodes later. So yeah, Jeffrey, the whole working at your mother's facility isn't the best thing for you to say right now, because I'm not saying Jeffrey is lazy, but at the same time, Jeffrey definitely needs to. I mean, it feels like he's more interested in this whirlwind of danger and abuse from Justin, and then, using people like Madison and Landon, as opposed to just moving forward with his career. But to be fair, you really need to deal with the Veronica issue before you move any further. So, I mean, at this point, with trying to have both David and Jeffrey killed, and now referring to Jeffrey as a girl, I think the Veronica trying to get a grandchild plot doesn't need to be brought up at any point this time, because it literally makes no sense whatsoever if it is. We know Laura is supposed to come up this season, Laura being the black female that Veronica wanted from that, like girls center. Like, pretty much she would be the sponsor for to stay at the house. Remember Becky with the bad hair who came over, and Karen, who was pretty much kicked out. And if Laura shows up, will this reignite Veronica's passion of getting Jeffrey to give her a grandchild? Makes no damn sense if she does, based off everything that's happened. But we'll just have to wait and see how it's written into the show. But in any case, yeah, Jeffrey is just one class away from getting his degree. Then he'll find a career and go from there. But like I said before, he needs to deal with the Veronica issue first, and then the whole Justin crap, and just move on, because I've already done a video about how Jeffrey isn't as innocent as he perceives himself to be. He's actually more of a user and leads people on, as opposed to being the victim. Like, I'm not playing, what's the phrase of victim shaming? I'm not trying to victim shame Jeffrey in some situations, but in others, it's like, bro, you bring this on yourself. In some cases, like letting Justin into David's condo because you're there and the door is locked, or going over to Justin's at Spanish Moss Trail, that kind of thing. You're the one that allows yourself to go over there. He's creepy and he begged, but at the same time, he's not making you do it. And I will never forget, what was it, a couple seasons ago, where out of nowhere, he just beats the hell out of Jeffrey in the hospital hallway. And I'm like, what the hell? And if I'm not mistaken, isn't that around the same time that Justin busted Madison's car with that crowbar, or pretty much destroyed his entire car with that crowbar? So it's just one of these things where, excuse me, Jeffrey needs to work things out and then move forward on his own. That's pretty much it. I mean, kind of like Benny, pretty much just coasting off his mother's friendship with the Criers despite not wanting to give the money back. And it's like so ridiculous how that works out. So we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Jeffrey's job, do you think he should move out on his own and that kind of stuff? Or should he come to grips? I think really, like, I get what Madison was saying, like, get out of here, get away from your mom. But Veronica being Veronica, it's pretty damn near impossible to do so. So we'll have to wait and see what happens next. But you know the drill. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description. And I'll talk to you all soon.